Hey everyone, it's Anastasia from Riemer Family Farm here. Thanks for joining me today as we head into the second video in our celebrating 10 years at Riemer Family Farm video series. We're taking a closer look at what 10 years time has done for our farm, and it's a celebration of all of us and the changes that you guys have helped us make on this land. So today we're going to take a look at what's going on beneath our feet and how the soil has changed over the last 10 years. So I'm going to pass it over to Ellie and Bryce, and we'll see what they have to say. Thanks. So where are we standing right now?
We're standing out in one of the pastures. It's I know it's kind of hard for you guys to see, but I guess I can do one of these deals. You can see the green grass behind us, the clover. We're out in a pasture that's primarily grazed by our cattle. It's part of a 130-acre section of pasture right here that we've had cattle on for about 3 years.
So what did this land look like, Bryce, when you were a kid?
When I was a kid, it was not pasture. There were 55 acres of this 130 were in a pasture that where the cattle just stayed all summer, so a little bit different than how we do it now when we move the cattle around. But then where we're standing right now was cornfield, soybeans, alfalfa, a mix of a rotation of those three crops every year through here.
Ellie, do you remember what it looked like when you moved back 10 years ago?
It was still a cornfield.
Bryce, in the last video you mentioned that your dad has always made the point to you that farming starts with soil health. Can you expand a little more on that?
Yeah, what we mean by soil health is, and what my dad meant is, don't abuse the soil, don't try to take too much out of it. You got to give, it's kind of a give and take relationship. You got to feed the soil, protect it from running away, protect the biology in it. Those kind of things are kind of what we mean by soil health.
Ellie, has your dad taught you that too?
Yep.
So why did you guys decide to change the land use here when you took over the farm?
Well, it was a combination of things, but when looking at this, again, starting with soil health, how can we enhance the soil health and build on what my dad had been doing and the no-till practices that he was employing for many years, and produce a farm product that would be profitable enough for us to raise a family here on a smaller farm, which was different now than in my dad's day and my grandpa's day. You just need, you either need more land today or you need to do something different. And so we chose to do something different with the farm and with the land that was more profitable and gave us the opportunity to have a lot more choice and flexibility over how we treat the soil and enhance the soil health, and that was through diversity in our livestock and in the products that we sell, and in the crops and plants that we could put in the ground.
Have you noticed any change in the soil since you guys have changed it over into the perennials and started grazing?
We've noticed a lot of changes. The soil structure is enhanced when we don't plant a monocrop and we don't till. You leave the soil in place and you let all the plants establish and stay there for a number of years. Then the roots that they put down really enhance the soil health. That root system provides a place for the microbiology to live, for the worms and bugs that really, people that aren't familiar might think, oh, that's gross, worms and bugs. But worms and bugs are really what helps feed the system. It's a whole ecosystem underground, and so yeah, we've noticed a lot of improvements with the insect life. And Ellie, did you want to talk about some of the stuff that we can't see?
Sure. I just get really excited about all the microbes and life in the soil because it's really important for the plants and helps the plants to digest nutrients. You can put all the fertilizer you want on a field, but without that life, the plants aren't going to get it because the microbes and stuff need to help make it soluble for the plants to absorb.
So do you see anything noticeable?
Well, yeah, underneath the plants, obviously you got a lot of root system that's holding this together. Kind of see that on the backside, all these little roots coming out, and then those roots are creating these alleys in between these bumps. These are called soil aggregates, where pieces of soil stick together, and then when they do that and they're bumped up beside each other, then you get little spaces for air and water and earthworms. In fact, earthworms make a lot of these holes to travel, and then that lets the water infiltrate. So if you get when you get heavy rain events, the water does not all rush down the slope, but will sink into the soil through these holes and prevent flooding and prevent drought-like conditions underneath the soil. And that's all just another benefit of having this diverse mix of plant material on the surface for animals to graze.
And the fungi really help make the aggregates.
How do they do that?
They make the glue.
It's the glue. Good point.
You've done a lot to heal the soil, right? Does that kind of surface and trickle through the chain? Does that impact the quality of the beef that you're producing as well, or is it just the plants?
Well, you are what you eat, and so are the cattle. So yeah, the cattle are noticeably healthier when we have them out here eating. They're not just eating this through this landscape, but they're stewarding it. They're enhancing it for us. They're doing a lot of work for us to increase soil health. When they tear off the tops of these plants, and the plants are stimulated then to put down more roots, that, like I mentioned about roots earlier, that's what keeps the cycle going and increases the soil health. And of course, being out here where the cattle are getting a diverse, basically, well, a mix like salad, like if we were eating healthy salads like that, they are staying healthy. They're moving away from flies and manure every day to fresh pasture and getting some high energy forage. So we've noticed a real increase in animal health, but also the flavor of the meat. We can really tell the difference when the animals have a diverse mix of grasses and legumes to graze on.
So that was our video tour with Bryce and Ellie, looking at soils and how our grass-fed beef operation has helped to improve those soils and in turn result in more nutritious and delicious beef for you guys over a decade of changed land management and using the grazing as a tool. I don't know about you guys, but I learned something. And if you were really interested and you wanted to learn more about soils, you wanted to talk about it as a family, I know school's kind of up in the air right now, we do actually have in our store a book. It's called S is for Soils, written by our friend Stephen Affelbaum. You can take a look at that. And if you're interested, you can go ahead and purchase it and we'll send it out with your next order. And then you can learn a little bit more about soils and what you can do for soil health and how all of us together can make a better planet, starting with the soils. The other thing that I wanted to mention to you guys is we've had a lot of people over the summer looking to get out. They want to come and see the farm. I just wanted to let you know that we have now started offering an option for that. Thursday evenings during store pickup, we now have the option to add a self-guided farm tour to that. So when you place your order for on-farm pickup, you can also select a farm tour. And there's more details about that in the store online. I just wanted to give you a heads up if that was something that your family was looking to do. We've got COVID principles and policies in place to keep us safe and keep you guys safe, but this farm is really beautiful, and this is the height of of the season. July and August, there's just so much life and abundance, and there's flowers and birds and bees and all sorts of things. So if you and your family are looking to get out, bring a carload down, make sure you get your ticket in advance. We need to know who's going to be here so we can plan. But we would love to have you out here. So other than that, stay tuned for next week. We'll be headed out into the pastures again, but this time we'll be talking about plants and how the vegetation that the cattle are eating helps them and helps the greater system as it is. So let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, we'll see you next week. Thanks.